The start of the school year is here, and it's the perfect time to set the tone with connection. In this episode, we're sharing icebreakers that are fun, fast, and effective. These ideas work across many grade levels, help kids feel seen, and make those first days more meaningful without adding extra prep to your plate. Let's get cracking.
Welcome to the Eduwell Podcast, a show created for, by, and with teachers. I'm Alex.
And I'm Chelsea. Our goal is to share insights and connect with fellow teachers on how to thrive both personally and professionally.
Join us as we dive deep into the well of information filled with relatable tips, practical discussions, and ideas that go way beyond the classroom walls. Let's be well
and do well together. Okay, here we are, fresh and back and ready to dive into the year. Now, Alex, let me hear your visual of the well today, because I feel like it's going to have something to do with a layer of ice on the top, and we're going to need to push through that layer.
Oh, we sure are. So I am picturing barren land, and I'm picturing it in the classroom too. And the barren land looks like this: faces, quiet, afraid to speak, still, thick ice. So that's the visual now with the well. There's just ice. There's no flow. There's no movement. There's no waves of energy. It's just all stagnant. And that's what it's like at the beginning of the year. Students are all coming together. They don't know each other. They're extra still, and we kind of like it a little bit. Sometimes we call it the honeymoon period.
Yes.
Yeah. And you want to crack through that, and you want there to be energy flow. And so in the same way that we want to crack that ice and break it up so that there is free flow, that's what I'm visualizing: the well and the flow of water, and then the flow of conversation and interaction with the students. I mean, who doesn't love a wonderful icebreaker to get the flow going?
Yeah, to get things moving. That's great.
I do like visualization. What can I say? So give us our first icebreaker, Chelsea.
All right, I'm going to start with a very easy one because I love very easy ones. And I use this one every single year because it works for all ages and it's really fun. And it's just simply called What Am I? It's just a really fun game for everyone. So here's what you need to do: you prepare a stack of cards, and on each card, you write or print or type a single animal name. So horse, dog, cat, elephant, whatever you want. And you just keep them going. If you're really determined, you will laminate these cards so you can use them year after year. I haven't done that yet, but I plan to. And then you distribute the cards to the students face down on their desks. When it's time to start, you ask the students to pick up the card without looking at it and hold it to their forehead so that everyone else can see it. Then everybody gets up and they mix and they mingle throughout the classroom, and they can only ask yes or no questions, and they try to guess what their animal is on their head. So questions like, do I have two legs? Do I live on a farm? And they just keep going and going until they guess the animal on the forehead. As soon as one student gets the answer, they just come back to the pile, swap cards, and go out into the crowd again. This is fun. The teacher can get into it. And I find that even those shy kids that don't really want to get into the game will get up because kids know animals and they see everyone having fun. So I just love it. It's one of my favorites.
Great entry point, and this is one that can apply to any age, I would say. And I was thinking as you were talking, you could swap out famous people or something along that line, depending on what grade you're teaching and what you know about your class and what they may or may not know.
Yep, any subject you could put on the cards. Okay, what have you got for us?
All right, I've got one called Common Ground. In this icebreaker, you help teens to find shared interests without being put on the spot too much. And I really like that because it can meet the comfort level of all students. So you divide the students into smaller groups of 4 or 5. You give them about 3 to 5 minutes or as much time as they need to come up with as many interests, common interests that they have. And someone in the group writes it on a list. And after the time is up, the group shares 3 common things that they found. So they're listing all of their interests, and they list the 3 commons that they found. And the reason that this is really good, a really awesome game, is that no one has to speak alone, and everyone can talk casually without being put on the spot too much. And it helps to encourage discovery of the different similarities and builds a comfort level. I don't know about you, Chelsea, but every once in a while, someone shares a talent or an interest that they have, and I've already stereotyped them in a different way. And their talent or their interest or their hobby surprises me and makes me see the person in a new light, in a new way. And it opens up dialogue and it will make me feel more connected to the person. So I really like this one. I think that it boosts confidence in group settings and it's just a great one. So I'm throwing that one out there.
And it's such a great idea to do at the beginning of the year when kids don't know each other and they can just find that common interest and it might draw them towards those people so they can make friends. That's fantastic. I love it. Okay, I'm going to move on to the third one, and that is the standing word search. And we actually did this in a PD session with colleagues of ours. However, we didn't all know each other. So the leader of the PD printed out word searches on larger paper. It doesn't have to be too big. You can still do it through your photocopier. Put them up on the walls and then put us into random groups. However you want to do that, whether you're numbering people off, whether you're using Flippity, there are so many creative ways to put students in group. It's just a matter of getting those strategies down and using them consistently, I find. So we were in groups and we got together with our teammates and we all just had to find words in a word search. So we just started working together and it was a little bit challenging and we started talking and I just thought it was really fun, as an adult. So I think kids would find that to be really challenging. Students would really enjoy it. I have done it in my class and it works out really well. You could also do a number search. Let's say if you're doing a math class, you could use terms that are related to your subject. So maybe in secondary, you're teaching a chemistry class, you've got chemistry terms in that word search. And then afterwards, the students could sit down, mix and mingle, and define those terms, just to kind of dip their feet into the subject. So this is low prep, it's collaborative, and it's curriculum connected. Check that box off. It also adds a little bit of movement, so that's why I really like it. You're up.
Okay, I'm just reflecting about the two that I chose, and both of them are introvert friendly. So I'm going to just throw that out there that when you are choosing different icebreakers to make sure that you're grabbing different talents, the one that you just talked about, there are people who are really visually strong and can look at something and pull it out right away. So that student who may not be engaging and feeling confident in other icebreakers might just flourish. And that's why, you have to have a mixed bag of what you can do. My next one is called Secret Talent Swap, and students write on a sticky note anonymously a secret skill or hobby, and the class has to guess who the student is, and the student can choose to reveal it, or they can have another student reveal it for them. So this one can really boost up that self-esteem and make students think about you know, what is unique to them or what they might be proud of. And it can help students who are a little bit more reserved because it takes that pressure off and it protects the privacy. So again, really good for the introverted student. Also, and this is the same as the last one that I shared, it sparks curiosity to learn more about your peers when you're learning these little facts and little bits of information. I've many times done something like this, and afterwards, the conversation just starts to flow again. The ice is broken, the water is free, the energy is moving around, and students are popping around the room and having a conversation organically. And again, to stereotyping students, I'm always impressed by the capacity that students have to show interest in each other and to be open basically after an activity like this. It really does, once again, break the ice. So I love this one. And I think it really just fosters mutual respect and curiosity. And it's a great start for the school year. So that's my second icebreaker.
That is a really good one. It's a little bit different than two truths and a lie, which I think at this point might be a little bit overdone, even though I love it, but this has a different spin on that. And I also want to go back to what you said about fostering mutual respect. So at the beginning of the year, it is so important to just communicate with students that everyone has different interests, everyone is a different person, and it's important to be accepting of other people and what they like and what they don't like, I find, especially, at the age group that we are teaching. So that activity can be spun into those respect lessons. So I love that. That is a great way to start the year.
Well, I like how you explicitly said that, and what a teachable moment in front of the class. It's funny as we're talking about these icebreakers, I'm reflecting as an adult how I've been in situations where I've had the opportunity to be a part of these icebreakers. And many of them have done exactly what we're trying to accomplish here, which is to break the ice, get people comfortable in a situation. I've also been in professional situations whereby the icebreakers that are being presented are not comfortable for everyone. And I think we all need to be mindful when we're presenting it, whether it be to adults or to children, that we know our audience, and that we are choosing icebreakers that don't put people in situations that are uncomfortable. Let me just throw out an example. Physical activity. If you're asking people to jump up and down and they are adults, I could list, and some I won't be able to say, a million reasons why that might not be comfortable for people. And so when you're in the position of leader and you're asking people to do things that they are not comfortable with, you need to really reflect about that and think about multiple entry points. So I'm just throwing that out there to all those people in the world, myself included, who have the opportunity to bring people together, get that ice broken and flowing. If you come in with an icebreaker whereby the method is not comfortable, you might have the opposite outcome. The ice may stay frozen. Yeah, we have a responsibility. So,
Okay. I just want to mention one right now that I found to be painful when I did it. And hey, maybe this is just me. There are two circles. There's an outside circle and an inner circle. And the inner circle is facing the people who are in the outside circle. These are circles of people, in case I didn't mention that.
yeah.
And the circles move in opposite directions. And so you meet with a new person every time, and then you have to either discuss a subject. This was an adult icebreaker, or say something about yourself. And I just found it to be a very awkward and I didn't like it. That's one I didn't like. So that's what I don't use in my classroom. Maybe other people do. I mean, it would probably be okay with kids and you were just like mention one thing that you do, for physical activity. But it's not for me. So yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, and we have to be mindful of that you always want full buy-in, but you may not have it. And
Yeah.
respecting right to pass can go really far. And I mean, now we're going into something totally different, but like when you respect a student's right to pass, but you follow it up with a conversation later about, okay, I respect your right to pass. And, let's talk about, are we going to be passing on everything? And, what are the reasons? And it's just, yeah, it's an ongoing conversation. But I'm just really not a fan of jumping up and down and being asked to like run in circles or do anything like that. It feels it's not comfortable for me. I mean, who knows what ailments people have or what discomforts people have. So to me, there's a respect thing that happens too with these things that are off the beaten path or a little bit, trying to be fun. Just because you think it's fun doesn't mean that everybody in the space is like, oh, we get to do an icebreaker. Some people hear that and they're like mortified, depending on what is being presented to them. I'm speaking as an adult and I'm also transferring that onto the kids. I am very mindful of that. And I know you are too.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into the last icebreaker we have today, which was brought to us by a fellow teacher. And this person teaches secondary school. And I think that this is a fantastic icebreaker for, again, all ages. I think it's really fun and those visual learners as well. So we're calling it Team Sketch Relay. What happens is the teacher forms groups of about 4. In this case, the number can vary. Once the students are in their groups, have them assign themselves a number from 1 to 4 or however many people are in the group, and then explain the task. Tell students that they'll work together to recreate an image relay style. Then you show the image on the screen. It can be something like a cartoon animal, it can be a classroom object, it can be an abstract shape. That would depend on your audience. and you show this image for around 30 seconds. And again, that might depend on your classroom as well. And then you take it down. No one is allowed to sketch while the image is on the screen, but the relay drawing begins as soon as the image leaves the screen. So person one begins and has 30 seconds to begin drawing from memory something they saw in the image. Then they pass the paper to person two, who continues drawing for another 30 seconds, and then they pass to person three until everyone in the group has added on to the image. And then, of course, everyone reveals and shares what they have, and you've got all of these different drawings, and you've got people interacting and talking about what they remembered, and there's laughs and conversation. I think it's just a fun way to encourage teamwork, memory, and creativity. Quick, fun, and easy to reuse. I love it.
Oh, I love that one. And thank you so much to that teacher who reached out and shared that icebreaker with us. And thank you for inspiring an episode. We really appreciate that.
And this is coming from a teacher of subjects that are quite rigorous in secondary school. And we need to acknowledge that those are subjects where you really need to dive in right away, where you have a ton of curriculum to cover. The expectations are high. Sometimes it can be really hard to find time for these fun teamwork activities. So that's a tough thing to do. But we are hoping that some of the icebreakers we presented here could be fit in to any subject and pretty much most age groups.
I think this is a good opportunity, real quick, to remind our audience that you can leave a voice message for us on the website at edyouwell.com. And in the show notes, there's a function where you can shoot us a text and we won't even know who it's from. It doesn't show your information at all. So just a little FYI there. And I'm going to swing back to your point really quickly about rigorous subject matter. I think that there's a lot of pressure on secondary teachers with the curriculum and preparing students moving into the next phase of their education. And I think that when you build community in your classroom through something like an icebreaker, you're going to get richer learning for those project-based learning tasks or collaborative conversations, problem solving, because students will be comfortable with each other. They'll know what the various skill sets are in the room. And they might not be explicitly saying it, but they'll lean on each other for the strengths that have been shown in those lighter moments throughout the day. I mean, icebreakers pay dividends.
That they do.
Oh, little compare and contrast at the beginning of this episode, Chelsea. Like it was a block of ice in that well. You know, you look down and it's just flat, smooth, glare, thick ice. And now we're at the end. And what do we see? It's like this beautiful flow of water that's just trickling and flowing and nothing but opportunity with that free flowing water.
Yep, things are moving. So our only takeaway is to encourage you to get moving and try out these icebreakers and let us know what worked. And if you have a go-to icebreaker that you'd like to share with other teachers, send us a text or drop us a voicemail. We'd love to hear it.
Thanks for listening to the EduWell podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, please share it with a friend, subscribe, and leave a positive review. It helps others to find us.
Follow us on Instagram and Pinterest to help spread the word. For more inspiration, tips, and book recommendations, just head to the show notes and join the EduWell newsletter today. Until next time, be well
And do well.